to see the screen?
Yeah.
Next. Hopefully it should be 12 weeks. Probably not. 13. Okay. Hadiyu?
Yeah, I'm here.
Perfect. Do we have Johannes?
Johannes here.
Perfect. Steve?
Yes, here.
Quite early in Perth, right, Steve? Vincent?
Here.
Elsa?
I'm here.
Good. Do we have Indira? No. Putri Benita? Leonardus?
Yes, I'm here.
Perfect. Have we got Kristen, Jiwon, Andrew? Oh, Benigno, Kristen? Yeki? Have we got Yeki? Then Calvina? Dongbo?
Yes.
Tunia Dada? Ying Lu?
Yeah, I'm here.
Perfect. Erlin?
I'm here.
Biara? Victoria Biara? Ramden?
Yeah, I'm here.
Ramden, I've seen you for the first time. Do you join evening classes?
I usually doing evening classes, but I don't turn on the camera because I'm in the middle of the work.
Okay, because half of your roll call is not done.
Oh.
At least you have to say, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Like, maybe leave it in the chat.
Okay, alright.
Alright. Have you got Rita? Bernadette?
Yes. Yes, I'm here.
Perfect. Mutiara and Sani? Sorry. Mutiara and Sani? Janice?
Yes, I'm here.
Great. Kantika? Have you got Lily? Lily? Felicia?
Alicia here.
Perfect. Have you got Audrey? Yes. Mariati? Oh, that's strange. Darwin?
Yes, I'm here.
Perfect. Sun Young Chu?
Yes, I'm here.
Great. Iwa and Russell? Yoonhee Kim?
Yes, I'm here.
Hermanto?
Yes, I'm here.
Gabriella?
Yes, I'm here.
Jason?
Yes, I'm here.
Great. Diva?
Yes, I'm here.
Great. Have you got Dong Man?
Yes, I'm here.
Samuel?
Hi, I'm here.
Perfect. And Junru.
Yes, I'm here.
Right. You joined Samuel and Junru. You joined my class last time, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Perfect. Good. I am just gonna repeat the roll call for the ones who have not answered or might have turned up now. Please check your screens and let me know if you're here. Indira, Putri Benita, Kristen, Benigna Kristen, Yeki, Calvina, Tunyadara, Biara, Mutiara Insani, Kantika, Lily, Mariari, and Ion Russell. Okay. It looks like they're not here yet. Okay. So just catching up. Have you guys got any class last week for this session? Morning session? No? Okay. So I will be sharing the whole PowerPoint with you guys from the start because this is the second day for it. So we'll be doing everything from the start. Everybody, are you able to see the screen?
Yes.
Perfect. Alright, so the unit that we're going to do today is apply basic principles and practices for infection control and prevention. This is one of the important units in your course. So please listen very carefully. How can we prevent infection and how can we control it? Alright, everybody? Okay, before we continue, does anybody have any questions?
No.
No? Good. Now, look at the first slide, everybody. Infection prevention and control. This is a method so that we can prevent infection or any other diseases to keep on recurring again or keep on continuing again. It could be simply by personal hygiene or by washing your own hands. So imagine you have met a person who's having cold and cough, and now you have shaked hand with them, right? After you shake hand with them, you have gone in your kitchen, you started making stuff. So that means now you have contaminated the whole kitchen because you haven't washed your hands. If you might have just washed your hand there and then, you might have prevented infection to flow. Now your whole family, if they go into the kitchen, they will be spreading germs. They will be using the utensils you might have used, or they might be touching the handles that you might have used. So that means they are getting the infection that you spread on the first place. So it's very important. Even small actions like washing your hands, making sure if somebody has touched anything, you wipe it off. Or simply, if somebody's sneezing, make sure they're using the personal etiquette while they're sneezing, or simply wash their hands after they have done that. Alright? So these are the small things that we will be discussing today to give you an idea what setting like aged care, or if you're working in a hospital, we cannot minimize the flow of infection. Infection can be spread a lot, or even, widely spread, because if it spreads from a person to person and from diseases as well. Now, the first topic is identify relevant standards and guidelines. It's very important to be aware about different standards and guidelines. Okay? Now, the guidelines and standards are also basic, but plus also differentiated between organization to organization. For example, WHO. What is WHO? Anybody knows? What is WHO?
World Health Organization.
Perfect. Good, Jason. World Health Organization. They are the one who makes out standard guidelines for health, for making sure everybody is safe. Okay? For example, I don't know if you remember the time of COVID. World Health Organization has given so many guidelines during COVID so that every people should be safe and sound in their own house, also outside. Correct? Wear your mask, do your hand hygiene, make sure you wear your gloves, make sure when you're stepping out or stepping in, you should make sure you do your personal hygiene well. Correct? So there were so many hygiene related tips given to us, or guidelines given to us by WHO. Now, if you look at the guidelines and standards, there were also some guidelines and standards given by Australian Guidelines for Prevention and Control of Infection in Healthcare. Now, if you look at your screen, NSQHS, that is National Safety and Quality Health Services Standards. They are the ones who nationwide guide you if there is any sort of outbreak. They will let you know what to do, how to do, and how to prevent yourself from getting into any infection or diseases. Okay? So if you have not yet, followed them or subscribed them, you should, because they keep on sending emails, which will give you an idea what is preventing and what is coming up in nationwide and how can we prevent them. Okay? Now, the following are the basic principles that address them. For example, first, mode of transmission. What is our infectious agent? For example, now infectious agent can be a mosquito, can be a person, or can be any sort of animal that might have bring that infection towards us. That's an infectious agent, an agent who brings out the infection. Correct? And mode of transmission means how that infection has followed or moved its places. Mode of transmission or mode of transport. Have you heard? Is it easy to understand? Mode of transport. Now, if for example, the mosquito sits on a garbage bin and brings in all the infection, correct? And then that mosquito sits on your palm. So who is an infectious agent here? A mosquito. And what is the mode of transmission he has done? On your palm. So he simply sit on your palm and given you the infection. Second, a person who just sneezed, they didn't wash their hands, and then they touched you on your shoulder, or they might have shaken hands with you. So the infectious agent is the person who just sneezed and didn't wash their hand, and the mode of transmission is by their hands. So they've touched you. Understood, everybody? Everyone? Okay. If you want to say yes, please say it with your mics off. okay? Because most of the time, I'm not looking at the camera. Alrighty? Alright. Effective work practices minimize the risk of transmission of infectious agent. So now, if we want to prevent everything, we need to make sure that we minimize the risk of these transmission. Okay? And how we do that? There are different things. First of all, the first, mosquito. You should make sure the mosquitoes should not enter your house. There should be repellents for them. Second, you should do personal hand hygiene so that you are breaking up the transmission of those things. Now, governance structures that support the implementation, monitoring, and reporting of infection prevention and control work practices. Compliance with legislation, regulation, and standards relevant to infection control. Now, you need to understand every organization will have different way they do things, correct? Like I've told you earlier. Now, they will also have compliance measures that are going to change this legislation. So you need to have awareness about this. Whatever organization you're going to work with, they are going to have different regulations, but it's all going to come from nationwide or Australian government. Okay. Now, as we were talking about it, NSQHS, National Safety and Quality Health Services. Okay, everybody? They are the one who are making measures or who are making standards so that we are safe. They are also giving all these standards and then explaining them to every healthcare setting. They have a very big website. They keep on uploading everything on it. So make sure you go online and have a look. You can also subscribe. Like I said, you can also subscribe to their page or emails, and you can get aware about any new standards they have come through. Now, below the 8 NSQHS standards. First, clinical governance, partnering with consumers, preventing and controlling infection, medication safety, comprehensive care, communicating for safety, blood management, and recognizing and responding to acute deterioration. Okay, let me explain you guys the standards. I think they will be clinical governance. Basically, how things could be governed clinically, like how can doctors, nurses, all that clinical team, how are they helping or what have they come up with? Obviously, partnering with consumers like us, then preventing and controlling infection. They also help in, like I said before, they also help in bringing up measures with preventing and controlling infections. Medication safety. They also have rules around medication safety. Comprehensive care. They also brings up new rules or new techniques where we can help in giving people comprehensive care. Communicating for safety. They also help in communicating safety, for example, bringing up new rules, blood management. There is a very big thing about blood management in aged care. I will be showing you a video on that later today. Okay? Then recognizing and responding to acute deterioration. Anybody who understands the word deterioration? Anyone? That's no for Jason, but anyone else? Audrey, you're not talking today. What's happening?
Deteriorations is I think getting worse, like,
or slowly getting, bad. Deterioration. Okay? Not the very worst, not very worst, but slowly getting worst. Okay? Understanding? So how can we respond when somebody is slowly getting very sick or slowly getting very worst? Alright? Well done. I'm sick today and you guys are not responding.
Sorry, I'll talk more.
That's okay. Alright. This now. The standards, the description of all this information, or like we have just done, it gives out the description of the standards, intention of the standards, and the criteria of standards. Okay, I'll just wait. I'll show you a quick video on the standards so that we're not missing out on anything. Okay, are you able to see my screen? Yes or no?
Oh, no.
Perfect.
Lost.
Oh, good. That's what I wanted. One second. Okay, good. Okay, everybody, are you able to see the screen though now?
Yes.
Okay. The volume's okay?
All good.
Okay. Alright, give me a minute. Okay, what I'll do, I'm gonna give it a pause because they're not talking in the video. I thought they were talking in the video. Anyway, I'm gonna give a pause after every slide, okay? Is that alright?
Okay.
So you can read it or you can take a picture of it. You know what? I'll find a video which would actually give you a little bit of more insight on it. Wait a minute, everybody. I don't want them to just not say anything. Give me a second. Sorry, it won't be long. Give me a minute.
Recording in progress.
And the
video.
You can't hear the video?
I think I do. I think you have internet open.
Yeah, because Audrey, we can hear the video.
I think it's my phone. Like I cannot hear anyone. I'll change.
Okay. Even they are not talking. What's up with all the videos? Okay, everybody, this is the very good video, so we need to read it. Okay, is it too complicated? Yes or no?
A little bit.
A little bit? Okay, we're not gonna see it then. Because I want to make it things easier for you, not complicated. Give me a minute. Alright, everybody, I'll show you another video, but I think there is not much videos on NSQHS, which is very strange. There should be. I think I have to make one. Alright, let's see. Just give me 1 second. Let me pull up your great. Are you able to see the slide?
Yeah.
Alright. Now, it is very important that we understand, how infection is flowing in your workplace setting and how we can prevent and control the infection and how does it fit in your context. First is intended audience and then it's context. Now, for example, it's written over here. Check the following to identify IPP standards and guidelines that complement your situation. For example, your situation is very simple, like I'm going to take the sneezing bit a lot because that is very common. People sneeze and they don't follow adequate is us. We are in the classroom, and the context is there is a student who just sneezed, and they did not, they did not sneeze in the elbow. They did not sneeze. They just sneezed in the air. So what's going to happen now? All the infection is going to be in the air, and all the airborne particles are going to give an infection in the surroundings. Let's say Jason is sitting very near to that person. So who's going to get infected first? Now, if Jason's If Jason's immunity is very good, he's gonna be saved. Otherwise, Young, who is sitting on the next table, will get infected. Right? So, what could have happened on the first place? The person who sneezed in the class should have followed hand hygiene, or should have followed or might have kept a hanky on his mouth, or done it on the elbow, or might have, quickly taken his sneeze out, so that it could have prevented it to go in the air and give infection to other people. Now, I'm getting very sick nowadays because this is happening in the class a lot. Okay? Because of the weather is changing. We can't blame anybody. It's just the weather is changing and people are getting sick. Correct? But it doesn't mean we'll make everybody else sick. Alright? We need to make sure we follow proper hand or personal hygiene. Small things like coughing, sneezing, all of these things should be taken into consideration. Okay? Now, second bit of this unit. This unit is very small, yet very important. Okay? You're gonna see we're gonna finish it very quickly. Now, second bit, identify infection risk and hazards. How can we identify them? Can you see a sneeze? My question?
No.
Can you see an infection?
No.
So how do you identify? Tell me.
From reaction.
Yes, from a reaction. Basically that. But now some of the hazards, most hazards can be seen because they happen in a nature, or somebody might have done things wrongly. For example, contamination of food. Foods can get contaminated. Contaminated water. Accidental exposure. Now, for example, you are chopping. You are in aged care and you are like, no, I want to work in the kitchen. I want to help make food because I love making food. So you get hired as a chef, or as an assistant chef, or as a help in the kitchen. And that is possible. You're cutting. While you're cutting, you cut yourself. All your blood flow is falling out. And you don't realize it that you cut yourself. And you have contaminated the food and you have contaminated the kitchen. Just imagine how many people might have been infected because of it. Anybody's blood. I'm not talking about you or anyone. It doesn't matter who is doing it or how it is being done. But it's got contaminated. Contaminating water. Water was kept uncovered outside on the table for long. It could get contaminated with airborne particles, plus any insects might have come in and might have dropped and gone out. The food must be covered. Accidental exposure, for example, you are taking the food out and it might, from a freezer or a fridge to the table, for example, fruits, and you've kept them out uncovered. Accidental exposure. Direct contact from infectious substance, or contact of infectious substance with wound and lessons. Like I said, or you might have a cut already like me. Oh my god, I had a cut somewhere. I keep on cutting myself. Paper cuts, very easy to get. And you cut yourself and you're still chopping. And you still have not put dressing on it, or dressing on your finger. That also contaminates the food. Okay. Now, who is drawing on my screen? Hello? It's not your drawing paper. You cannot draw on the screen, everybody. Let me see if I can control that. I think I know who did it, but then look, I'm letting you go. Don't do it. If you're done mistakenly, please make sure it should not happen again. Alright? Okay, can I give control to... No. That's all good. Now, infection hazards in the workplace. It could be due to poor ventilation. There's not much windows or no much ventilation in a room or a bathroom. It can build up mold. Everybody knows what's mold?
Yeah.
Right? And that can also create a lot of infection. Workplace vector. What is that? Who knows what is vector? The layout. Or how things are done. And then dry work area. Or an ill colleague who is sick. These are the small hazards. Then infection risk in the workplace. Obviously, people, how is this infection building up by people? Because we are not following our hand hygiene. Surfaces, because we as a human, we would touch surface, even mosquitoes or even small insects, they're going to touch surface and we're going to touch that surface. If you look at hygiene or infection briefly, everything is infected. Mostly everything is infected. Because I'm pretty sure people don't wipe their houses daily. Because we don't have time. Come on. Right? And infection can build up. Even air inside the workplace. Because see, if a person like me who is sick goes into workplace, I'm having cold, fever, I'm still in the air surrounding people, right? I can give them infection. If not, if I touch surfaces, if I touch people or shake hands with people, I'm giving infection. I'm the infectious agent. Now, chain of infection. Coative agent, mode of transmission. Now, I'm the agent who's spreading, reservoir or portal of exit, means of transport, portal of entry, and subsequent hook. I'll show you a very interesting video on this. I hope I found that video because it's very funny. Chain of infection. Yep. Found it. Very easy to find. Are you able to see the screen, everyone?
Yes.
Audio is good?
Yes.
Are you wondering how
Okay, everyone.
viruses pass from one person to the next? Hi, my name is Tony, and here at the California Long-Term Care Education Center, we want you to learn more about how viruses spread from one person to the next, also known as the chain of infection. Let's explore the chain of infection. You can imagine it as a blue chain, and each link contributes to the next link. There are 6 links in this chain. Germs, where they live, how it exits, transmission, doorway of entry, and vulnerable person. To prevent and control the spread of germs, we need to understand how germs are spread through the chain of infection. Each link has a unique role in the chain, and each can be interrupted or broken through various means, which prevents infections and keeps patients safe. Follow me as we explore each link. Breaking the chain of infection is vital to avoid the spread of germs. A germ is a tiny living organism. Some germs help people, while some have the ability to cause infection and disease. Germs can spread easily from person to person, and sometimes cause serious infections such as measles, chickenpox, smallpox, coronavirus, and Ebola virus. To help break this link, use the right cleaning solution such as bleach to disinfect areas that may be infected with germs. The second link in the chain of infection is where germs live. They thrive and reproduce on surfaces like tabletops, doorknobs, and on people. Breaking this link would include washing your hands and disinfecting surfaces. Next in the chain is how it exits, which is how germs leave the body. The germ can leave through any of the bodily fluids, like saliva, blood, urine, or vomit. They can also exit by sneezing and coughing. The fourth link is the mode of transmission. Germs can spread from one person to another through direct contact, when people shake hands, hug, or kiss. They can also spread through indirect contact, if people touch something with germs already on it, like a doorknob or pen, and then touch their eyes, nose, or mouth. To break this link, use face coverings, wash your hands thoroughly and constantly, cover coughs and sneezes, disinfect frequently used surfaces, maintain social distancing, and if necessary, self-quarantine. Next in the chain includes the doorway of entry. It's the way viruses enter the person through respiratory droplets produced from the lungs when an infected person coughs, sneezes, or talks. These droplets can travel as far as 6 feet. The droplets then land in the mouths, eyes, or noses of people who are nearby, or possibly be inhaled into the lungs. We can break this link by practicing the 4 recommendations previously mentioned. The last link in the chain of infection is the vulnerable person. The vulnerable person cannot defend against infection, such as the elderly, people with compromised or weakened immune systems, and individuals of all ages who have serious chronic medical conditions. As needed. Cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze with a tissue or your elbow, not with your hand. Always wash your hands and do not come to work when you are sick. As a caregiver, you are in an important role where you can prevent the spread of germs to your consumer. Simple tasks like washing your hands, disinfecting surfaces, and wearing personal protective equipment can break the chain of infection to keep everyone safe. I hope this information has been helpful, and you continue to stay safe. See you next time!
Alright, understood how chain of infection works?
Yeah.
Interesting, right?
Yeah.
So, now, what are the changes that we're gonna do? Tell me. What are the changes that you're gonna create? Tell me. If you are surrounded by people, what are the changes you're gonna make?
Well, if I sneeze, I will use my elbow and my hand to protect. I'm using my hand.
Yes. Good. What else? What else are the changes that you're gonna make? Audrey?
You're bringing sanitizer,
Yep.
like alcohol rub with you all the time.
Good. What else? Come on, Leo. You saw the video. What are the changes that we're gonna make?
I cannot hear you. My connection.
Sorry, come again.
I cannot hear you properly because my connection will be bad.
Sorry, I'm not able to hear you.
He has connection problem.
Yeah, not able to hear you very clearly though. Anybody else? Come on.
Wearing mask for like mouth protection.
Yep, good. What else? There's a main one. I'm looking for that answer. If you're sick, do not go to work. Okay? Try to stay home. Try to make sure that you don't give that infection or you don't spread that infection. Especially when you're working with elderlies or if you're working with children. Okay? Because their immune system is very low. Kids and our older people. Alright? So we should make sure of that. Now, pathogens. Let's talk about pathogens. Now, pathogens are organisms which we cannot see from our naked eyes. Okay? They are microorganisms which can only be seen through a microscope. Alright? So, these are harmful. I mean, not harmful. I mean, they are harmless. They don't cause direct death to the host, but they can widely spread and they can hit your immune system. Pathogenic microorganism or pathogens. These are organisms that can cause harm or diseases to the host cell. Okay? Moving on. Pathogen cause infection. For example, pathogens can be a virus, a bacteria, a fungi, or a parasite. Okay? Any questions? Moving on. Now, degree of pathogen or exposure. There can be different factors. Exposure could be due to snows. Colonization means they can colonize, they can make a team, they can make a house, and then they can spread, or infection or disease. Okay? Now, the probability of a person acquiring an infection if they are exposed to an infectious agent, it arises due to these factors. First, the infection dose of the pathogen. If the dose is high, it would give you infection highly. The amount of infectious agent to infect the person. Second, what are the practices that can help us to lower the possibility of exposure? First, we should wear PPE. What is PPE, everybody?
Personal protective equipment.
But what are PPE?
Clothes, mask, the kind of clothes that they wear during COVID.
Yep.
Jumpsuit.
So your gloves, your mask, your apron, your face shield, all of that things, they contribute in PPE. Cleaning and disinfecting high-touch areas and items regularly. So for example, if you go into kitchen a lot, making sure we disinfect the kitchen a lot more than we usually do if you're sick. Immunization. It's very important. All early so that you can fight against infectious diseases. So in Australia, every year you need to take a flu vaccine, especially if you're working in a healthcare setting, like aged care, hospital, anywhere where you are helping other people. Okay? You need to take a flu vaccination. Have anybody taken flu vaccination for this year?
No.
No. Make sure we do that for next year, okay? Reservoir. What is that? Who is bringing these infections? For example, people, animals, birds, blood, bodily fluids, food, water, soil, waste. All of these things can help these agents to multiply in the environment. Next, acute clinical cases and carriers. These are the individuals that show signs of infection. For example, today me, I am showing signs of infection. I'm having cold, cough. So I am acute clinical cases. Carriers. It's okay, Leo. Carriers, these are the individuals who carry pathogen but show no symptoms. It could be a mosquito. Now, mosquito won't show you a symptom, right? They're gonna just do their thing and go. Or carriers could be somebody who was sick. Now they have recovered, but still they can carry infection, right? Moving on. Portal of entry or exit. Portal of entry. For example, you ate a food which was uncovered and mosquito or an ant has sat on the food, and now whatever infection they were carrying, they have given that in your food and you have eaten that food. So what was the portal of entry? Food, because you ate that food, which was infectious. Now, exit would be coughing, sneezing, cold, fever. All of this is exit. You're exiting what infection you have in you. For example, respiratory tract, mucous membrane, gastrointestinal tract, injury, or medical device secretion. They can enter anywhere. For example, you had an injury and now the wound is open. Correct?
Yeah.
Because that wound is open, if you are in that air and the air is infectious, that wound is directly getting that air in and you can get infected. It can infect your whole body. Second, if a mosquito sat on that wound for even a second, still a portal of entry. If it's sitting on your wound, it will give you infection. Now, portal of exit, everybody. Fluid-filled blisters, scab lessons on skin, gastrointestinal tract. Now, means of transmission, everybody. Direct transmission and indirect transmission. There are two types. Direct is when pathogens, they are passed through contact between an infected person and a susceptible host or susceptible person. For example, I am sick and I'm shaking hands with Audrey. So this is direct transmission or direct contact transmission. Now, indirect is when pathogens are passed without direct contact. They are instead passed through contaminated surfaces, objects, injuries, and vectors. Okay? Understand indirect? For example, mosquito on the food, mosquito in the kitchen, or any agent might have spread any infection. Contact transmission, droplet transmission. We're looking at direct contact of transmission. Let me see if I can show you an interesting video on this so that you can remember this for a longer period of time. a minute, everybody.
Debbie Harris wants you Black Friday pizza.
Are you able to see the screen?
Yes.
And now with crazy deals on
Audio?
Yeah, all good.
Sennheiser headphones. Creepy, you've done it again.
Germs are everywhere. They live on surfaces like tables, door handles, light switches, on your mobile phone, on jewelry, on your skin, and even inside your body. Many of them aren't harmful to us. In fact, there are numerous types that work in harmony with our body to keep us healthy. Of course, some germs are harmful and can make us ill. If they gain entry into the body, such as through a cut in the skin, breathed in through the lungs, or if you eat something without washing your hands, they can cause an infection. Germs can spread very easily, and our hands are particularly good at picking them up and spreading them from and to things that we touch, which increases the risk of them spreading to people. Despite this, many germs, including coronaviruses, are easily inactivated or removed by simply washing your hands with soap and water or by applying an alcohol hand rub. Disposable gloves can protect your hands from dirt and should be worn if you think you may come into contact with bodily fluids or feces. But if you touch an infected surface, the gloves themselves can become contaminated, which means they can still spread germs in exactly the same way that ungloved hands do. For example, let's say you touch an infected tissue with gloves on. You carry on with your usual day, and without thinking about it, you rub your eye. Then, later on, you hand a glass of water to someone you're caring for. The germs from the tissue have effectively been passed on to anything you touch, which means that you and this gentleman could become ill. This is why gloves must be put on immediately before one task, taken off immediately after it's done, and thrown away. You still need to wash your hands after removing the gloves too, as germs can pass from the gloves onto your hands as you take them off. Like many other germs, the coronavirus is mostly spread by droplets, which are breathed out from the lungs and can directly enter another person's mouth, nose, or eyes, allowing it to enter the body. As we've seen, if the infected droplets find their way onto surfaces, such as if an infected person blows their nose, then touches a door handle, the virus can then survive there, meaning someone else could become infected if they touch it too. This is why it's so important to follow appropriate procedures for cleaning surfaces, to wash your hands properly and often, particularly before and after contact with people you're caring for, to follow current advice on PPE, such as when to wear eye protection, disposable aprons or gloves, and to wear a surgical mask appropriate for the situation you're working in. These measures can prevent the coronavirus and many other harmful germs from spreading.
Got it?
Yes.
Want to go for the translation now?
Yeah.
Back to the slides. Now, suspectable host. It could be your devices, your medication, your wounds, your age. Infection works and how infection chain works, mode of transmission, example, a suspectable host needs to be identified since they are the most risk of getting infected. Somebody who is, like I said before, for example, an elderly person with low immunization, and then child who has a low immune system. Second, locate high contact surfaces in your work environment. The surfaces which are used the most, you need to locate them, you need to identify them, and then monitor how spills liquids are disposed of in the workplace. How liquids are being disposed, how the water is being disposed, how blood or how bodily fluids are being disposed. Look into how food and water are stored in your workplace. If they are stored in a good way that is not preventing an infection, then it's good. If it's in a way that is spreading a lot of infection, then we need to change that. Okay, can I ask you a quick question? When do you get your tea break in the morning session, or do you don't get any tea break? Do you have any tea break?
10
Yeah, we got it.
minutes, and then there's a 15 minutes of like two tea break.
So 2 tea breaks, and what about lunch break? Do you get
Lunch break around 20 minutes, but I forget what time.
Okay. So what time do you get your first one? After an hour, or?
No, it just usually around 11 to 11:30. Just depends on the lesson that day.
Okay. Well, should be. But there's no a set rule when you're gonna get it. Okay, all right. I'm gonna give you that on 11:15. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Now see, below are some pointers for determining infection, risks, and dangers in your job. First, check your work role requiring using sharps. If you're using any syringe or needles, make sure when you're disposing them or using them, you should not spread any infection. Check how your workplace deals with materials and biological waste. These are the pointers that you should take care when you get a job. Okay? Now, identify roles and responsibilities in relation to infection, prevention, and control. Now, we should use proper hand hygiene that is consistent with the 5 movements of hand hygiene. So now everyone, you need to show me hand hygiene once I show you this video.
Hi, my name is Shane.
Okay, everyone, please pay attention.
And I'm a registered nurse here at SIU Medicine. So I'll be demonstrating the proper hand washing techniques by using purple paint, simulating the soap. Most people put soap in, hand washing like this, then put their hands. Some people do this, put their hands, think this is good, and wash. As you can see, there's quite a bit missed. So properly, we apply good friction this way, and then we cross our fingers back and forth, interlocking them, and then we go palm to top, interlocking them, and then we make sure that we get our thumbs and the web of our thumbs, web of the other thumb, then you make sure that you get your fingernails good, and then you interlock them. And then last, make sure that you get your wrists, because as you can see, there's still some missing. way to wash your hands.
Understood?
Yep.
I'll show you one more video.
Hand washing with soap and water in 12 steps. Step 1. Wet hands. Step 2. Apply soap. Step 3. Rub hands palm to palm. Step 4. Rub back of hands. Step 5. Rub palms with interlaced fingers. Step 6. Rub back of fingers with fingers interlocked. Step 7. Rub each thumb. Step 8. Rub tips of fingers in a circular motion. Step 9. Rub wrists. Step 10. Rinse hands. Step 11. Turn off tap with elbow. Step 12. Dry hands with disposable towels. Following these 12 steps for effective hand washing should take around 30 seconds.
Okay? Understood?
Yes.
Steps
Yes.
super important for hand hygiene. Okay, let's see this video about personal hygiene.
Enjoy.
Okay?
Yeah.
This movie, then visit BrainPop. Pop.com for much more. Man, it's been slow today. We're never gonna make enough to. Whoa. I'm not sure we can actually get this baby any cleaner. Oh. Dear Tim and Moby, does it matter if I forget to brush my teeth? Our bodies clean. It includes daily activities like showering and brushing our teeth, and other routines that help us maintain a tidy appearance. Good hygiene is an essential part of being healthy. It's as important as a good diet, plenty of sleep, and regular exercise. Forgetting to keep clean can make growing up a lot harder. Well, classmates might start to avoid you if you're always dirty. And we all know how down we can get when we're left out. The physical effects of bad hygiene can leave you feeling even worse. You probably know how germs can make you sick. Viruses and bacteria are too tiny to see, but they're literally everywhere. There are trillions and trillions of them for every person on the planet. They're in the air and water, on our food, and all over our bodies. Not all germs are bad for us, Moby. Most are harmless, and some are even beneficial. Our intestines are home to bacteria that help us digest food. They break it down into the nutrition our bodies need. In fact, all bacteria aren't just looking for their next meal. Sometimes they find a feast in places that aren't so healthy. Our mouths are like five-star restaurants to bacteria. They collect into a thin film called plaque and chow down on food particles. As they digest food, it can make your breath unpleasant. and they also produce acids that eat away at our teeth and gums. That can lead to cavities, holes in your teeth. Right. Brushing and flossing regularly cuts off their food supply, and that prevents plaque from getting a foothold. After every meal is ideal, but in the morning and before bed for sure. Be gentle and use a soft bristle brush. Remember to brush all your teeth, and your tongue too. Hitting the 2-minute mark will ensure oral superiority. It's not just about your mouth. Bacteria love any hot, sticky place, like armpits, feet, and your private parts. Paying attention to those areas will prevent them from getting stinky or irritated. You have to wash your hands after you go to the bathroom. Chances are they have some bad bacteria on them. Clean them for 15 seconds with warm, soapy water before you touch something else. Well, like scratching a scab or rubbing your eye. Germs can easily multiply in these places and cause an infection. That means they overwhelm your body's natural defenses. Infections can be painful and dangerous. Plus, you may need medicine to get rid of them. Yep, germs can live for a while on things like doorknobs and desks. That's why you should wash your hands regularly, not just after bathroom breaks. Use hand sanitizer if that's more convenient. Cleaning your personal space helps too, and not just for germs. Most people feel better when their stuff is neat and organized. It's just one less thing you have to worry about. Oh, right. As you approach puberty, some of your body systems kick into high gear. Your skin will produce more oils, which some bacteria love to eat. So you'll find that you really need a shower to keep from smelling funky. Deodorant can help with that too. So can washing your clothes, especially stuff like socks and underwear. The earlier you start these habits, the easier it'll be. It takes some work, but it's totally worth it. Keeping your body and personal space in order just makes you feel good. Makes you feel more confident and calm. Y'all come back now. Yep, our first sale of the day. No cash. So what'd they give you? But this, I don't... Visit us at brainpop.com for more on this topic and hundreds of others. You'll find...
Okay. Got it? Why personal hygiene is important?
Yeah.
Okay. Shall we go on break then? Because I don't want to start the new topic. Shall we go on a break then? Everybody?
Yeah, we can do that.
We'll be back at 11:30 or 35. Okay. Alright, everybody. Let's have our first tea break.
Okay.
Alright, take care. I'll see you in 15.
You as well.
Yes.